This is John Redmann, attorney and legal commentator. I'm here today with Robert Weissman. He is president of Public Citizen, a consumer advocacy group. Robert, why don't you tell us what is Public Citizen? Or tell the viewers, what is Public Citizen?
Well, as you say, Public Citizen is a consumer advocacy group based in Washington, D.C. We were founded by Ralph Nader 40 years ago. We work on a wide variety of issues, making sure that medicines are safe, making sure that people have got access to the courts if they're injured, and also trying to deal with the issue of money in politics and the overwhelming harmful impact of corporate money and super wealthy money in the political process.
In relation to the mission of public justice, you are here in New Orleans today to engage in a forum, a discussion with someone from a group called Citizens United, James Bopp. Tell us, what can you tell us about this organization, Citizens United, and why is this weekend an important anniversary in relation to that group? Or tell the viewers.
Mr. Bopp is the lawyer for the organization Citizens United, which is a very conservative organization in Washington, D.C. What's so important about Citizens United, though, is not so much the organization as the Supreme Court decision known as Citizens United. That was issued 2 years ago on January 21st, 2010, and the decision held that corporations, for-profit corporations, have the right to spend whatever they choose to influence election outcomes. It's had a huge impact in the 2010 elections, major impact in the Republican primaries right now, and what it's really meant is that a very small group of large corporations and super wealthy individuals are now dominating the political process.
Now, the unlimited amounts of spending that can go into elections, what was it? What was the spending restrictions like before the Citizens United decision by the U.S. Supreme Court?
A steady erosion over the last couple decades of restrictions on campaign spending, including by corporations. But what was so especially different about this decision, the Citizens United decision, was the holding that corporations had a First Amendment right to spend whatever they wanted. So all the restrictions are now gone, except for the limitation that the corporations can't make direct contributions to candidates. And we've seen the impact really quickly. So even in the 2010 election, shortly after the decision was issued, $300 million came into outside organizations that put their money into the 2010 elections. That was more money that went into these kind of outside organizations than had taken place in the previous 20 years combined for off-year elections. So we've seen the impact, and it's going to be far, far worse in 2012. And
again, just to make sure we're all on the same page, this First Amendment right, that's the freedom of speech that you're referring to?
That's right. It's the idea that freedom of speech, First Amendment, probably the central piece of the Bill of Rights. We all have the right to free speech. The government can't censor what we say. Who's we? We as regular people living, breathing human beings. What the Supreme Court held in Citizens United was that that same right extended to for-profit corporations. They're not people. People work at them, but they're legal entities distinct from the people who work for them. And they held that the court held that those corporations, the legal entities, have a First Amendment right. And that First Amendment right meant that they could spend whatever they wanted on elections to decide who represents us, the real people.
That's money that buys advertisements, political ad campaigns, telemarketing calls, flyers that are sent in the mail to homes, political...
Anything that campaigns spend money on. Of course, the most important thing is TV ads, and they spend tons of money on TV ads. They're running this money, the corporations are running this money through independent organizations that people have never heard of, that aren't accountable to anyone, and although they support or oppose candidates, are not formally connected to those candidates. So these entities can run these serious, harsh, negative attack ads against candidates without any accountability, because no one knows who they are and no one cares.
Do we know if the money is all from within our American borders? Do we have any way of tracking where the money is actually coming from that goes into these advertising campaigns?
We really don't. A lot of the money is going, about half the money that's come in, this $300 million, went in secretly. It's the actual source of the donors is undisclosed. Now, foreign governments aren't supposed to be able to make contributions to our campaigns, but a foreign government-controlled corporation that's got a subsidiary in the United States clearly can after Citizens United. So it's not too much work to funnel the money that way.
What does What does your organization hope to accomplish with its efforts to modify or reform our political system?
Well, there's a lot of things that we think need to be done, and a lot of things that can be done to limit the damage from Citizens United, including first requiring disclosure of all this outside money, and then moving to a system of public financing so that it's public money that funds our public elections, not money from a handful of corporations and super rich people. But until we overturn the Citizens United decision, we know that corporations are going to have a right to spend whatever they want. So we've got to overturn the decision, and the only way to do that, short of the court deciding to reverse itself, is with a constitutional amendment. So we're working very hard for a constitutional amendment. That's going to be a long-term fight. The momentum is fast growing. People across the country are recognizing the damage that's been done to our democracy and how serious the threat is to the viability of our democracy due to Citizens United. And they're galvanizing around the call for a constitutional amendment.
If anyone wants to, those who agree with the positions that you're advocating, if they want to get involved locally, is your organization one that they can reach out to?
Yeah, absolutely. We're organizing all across the country around this issue. We've got a website set up just around the issue called Democracy is for People. We just want to go back to the basic thing. Democracy is for people, it's not for corporations. So democracyisforpeople.org. People can sign up there and we will be in touch.
Democracyisforpeople.org. For those of you who are interested, please feel free to go to the website and check out what they have to say. I'm John Redmann here with President Mr. Robert Weissman, and I'm very grateful to you for taking the time, and good luck to you today in this discussion with Mr. James Bach.
Great, thank you so much.